Heavenly Father, we thank you for gathering us all today in this important endeavor. We ask that you bestow your guidance and blessing upon each attendee. May we honor one another by keeping an open mind. May we voice our truth and listen with an open heart. Bless everyone present today, that each may be able to share his or her contributions and gifts. Grant good health and safety to loved ones left outside this room, and bestow peace and goodwill to all of us. We ask for your wisdom and grace to use our talents for the betterment of others. May the various activities related to this day be a success through your intervention. With gratitude, we offer this prayer in your name. Amen.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're fine. It's a very hot weather outside, and I hope you're you're comfortable as we navigate the online world when it comes to job hunting. In the next few months, you will be graduating. Many of you will be graduating, most probably, or for some, in the next few years. You may start establishing your portfolio as you prepare yourselves towards the real world, which is in the workplace. My topic this afternoon is giving you some insights as to why and how we should prepare ourselves in the world of digital economy. Uh, In the new era, one defined by rapid technological advancement and digital connectivity, the landscape of job searching has undergone a profound transformation. So let me share my slides so that I can start my discussion. So navigating cyberspace, effective strategies for tech-driven job search. Okay, so I'm Dave Marshall, and in the next 40 to 1 hour, I'll be sharing with you some strategies, not just simply regular or ordinary strategies, but effective strategies in our job search or in your job search, particularly enhanced by technology, ICT or digital technology. So I'll be talking about um, the importance of an effective online presence in job search. I'll be sharing with you some trends and challenges in online job searching, building a professional online presence, and leveraging a digital portfolio. And I will end my presentation with job hunting using social media and some of my concluding remarks. Okay? Okay. So how many of you here have at least, or how many in our participants have LinkedIn account? I will stop my sharing so that I can see your chat. How many of you have LinkedIn account? Just you can just type in how many of you have LinkedIn account. Anyone? Start typing. No one type. Okay. I'm waiting. Or just say no if you don't have LinkedIn account. You can just type no if you don't have LinkedIn account, just to make sure. If you are with me, okay, okay, no, no. At least I would know who among you there. Okay, okay, thanks. Okay, okay. So, uh, uh let me change. So, presenter. Okay, that's fine. That's no problem. Hmm. As I mentioned to you, today in the digital world, it is really driven with digital searching or digital assets. In short, this way to go with our profound transformation or digital transformation. Gone are those days of newspaper, perhaps classified newspaper, or attending fairs as the primary means of securing employment. Although at Seliman, we still have a job fair because we feel and we believe that that is still necessary to have an in-person or face-to-face. However, in this digital age, navigating the cyberspace effectively is not just advantageous, but it is always essential, whether you are a recent graduate, fresh graduate, or probably established already, embarking on your professional journey, or a seasoned professional looking to make a career change. Understanding how to harness the power of technology to your advantage can, I'll tell you, significantly enhance your job search endeavor. So as I go along into my discussion, I will delve into the intricacies of navigating cyberspace for effective job searching. And I hope we can explore on how to make sure to have a compelling digital identity, and let's try to maximize the use of online platform and network so that you can enhance your online security and privacy, and in general you can utilize technology for your continuous career growth. So the first question that perhaps put into your mind is what is the importance of an effective online presence in job search? Number one, in the literature, it always tell us to visibility to employers. In today's digital world, recruiters, employers, HR managers often actually rely on an online platform to discover and vet potential candidates. And having a strong online presence ensures that you are visible to these decision makers, increasing your chances of being noticed for job opportunities. The other importance is building branding. What I meant to this is your online presence actually serve as your digital resume and portfolio. And you need to curate your professional image while you are still perhaps in the college, even in freshman. Uh, and when I say curating, you have to put that across various platforms. Like I was asking you about LinkedIn, maybe you can also put all your professional branding in your website, in your social media, where you can showcase your skills, you can showcase your experiences and accomplishment is actually a compelling habit. This this professional branding helps you to differentiate from other candidates and leaves a positive impression on your potential employers. The third importance of an effective online presence in job search is networking opportunities. Online platforms provide vast many opportunities for networking. You know that with professionals in your industry or in your field of discipline. Do not just add your friends, your boyfriends, your girlfriends, but start building your network. Like as a student from other school taking the same course, or a teacher from other school teaching that course, and so on and so forth. You need to engage relevant discussions, participate in groups, participate in fan pages that will connect you to influencers, and that can expand your network and probably open doors to job opportunities that may not be advertised elsewhere. The fourth that I could think is on research and due diligence. What I'm trying to say is, employers often conduct online research on candidates before making hiring decisions. I've been in the academe, in any applicants to meet with the department. I always look at their Facebook account. I always look at LinkedIn accounts of the applicants. I always look at digital footprints of the applicant. A strong online presence allows you to control the narrative and present yourself in the best possible light. So it is also enables you to research companies and hiring managers, gaining valuable insight that can inform your job search strategy and interview preparation. The other importance of an effective online presence job search is a demonstration of digital literacy. It can demonstrate it. Uh, with this, in an increasingly digital-centric world, having a polished online presence, having a good reputation online presence demonstrates your proficiency in leveraging technology for professional purposes. Say, for example, you have your website, it's very clean. You have videos, you put all your portfolio there. It can show that you have digital literacy. It can provide value to employers, and employers could think that you are skilled enough when it comes to technology, that employers will think that you are savvy enough, that you have the necessary competency that you can navigate in an online platform effectively, making your online presence as a proof, as a testament to your digital literacy skills. So that's very, I think, self-explanatory when why do we have to have online presence in the area of job searching. The digital market we know that it offers diverse opportunities for aspiring employees, for professionals with the right skills and market. We know that. And the key, because there are so many graduates every year, the key really is you need to acquire three very important skills in the dynamic and evolving landscape of job market: adaptability, continuous learning, and proactive approach to your career development. But I will not focus into the challenges in the job market, but I will focus more on the searching component, the job hunting component, the job search that will help you illustrate and that will help demonstrate yourself that you are adaptable, that you have the continuous learning, that you always embrace continuous learning, and that you are proactive in your career development. Now, what are the key trends and challenges in online job searching? The number one actually is on remote work opportunities. This has become popularized
after COVID or during COVID, leading many companies to adapt to remote work policies. And while remote work offers flexibility and accessibility, it also introduces challenges related to communication, collaboration, and work-life balance. What I'm trying to say here is in in the job market, especially if you go to the online world, there's a lot of opportunity for you to work in remote workplaces. The second is the growth of gig economy. I'm not sure if you are familiar with the word. Gig economy characterized by short-term contracts and freelance work that continues to grow in the digital job market. So, um, like 2 months contract, 3 month contract, and so on and so forth. You can go to platforms like Upwork, Freelancer, Fiverr. They can facilitate the rise of freelancing, and most often than not, it often lacks stability and benefits associated with traditional employment because these are just short contracts or short period of engagement. Another trend is on the increased automation and recruitment. I wanted you to think this over because there are a lot of AI now. Many HR nowadays, human resource nowadays, have purchased AI and they embedded artificial intelligence algorithms that are being used na in the recruitment process. How? Why? Because they wanted to shortcut, they wanted to streamline candidate sourcing, screening, and collection. While these technologies actually fast track or expedite the hiring process and it improve efficiency as far as the employees are concerned, they also raise concerns about algorithmic bias, privacy, and job displacement. Why? Because if you don't put a lot of contents online, most probably you will not be hired because again, this is very biased to technology. Okay, and and AI in the hiring process also will get anything from you. That is why there is always a problem or concern on the privacy, and that if you don't have, because if you are afraid of data privacy, your privacy, and that you don't want to put so much data online, then therefore you will not be considered by AI. So these are the things that are always a challenging issue when it comes to online job searching with the use of artificial intelligence. And another popular trend also in online job searching is personal branding and online reputation management. What is this? That you need to build a strong personal brand and you have to manage your online reputation so that these are all, according to study, according to research, these are all essential aspects if you want to succeed in your online job searching. As I mentioned, recruiters and employers often conduct online research on candidates. Later on, I will explain to you what should be done in your social media and what should not be done to establish your reputation online. Many employers will look at and scrutinize the social media profiles of the applicants, professional website, digital portfolios, and some of the challenges here is maintaining a positive and professional online presence is always critical to make a favorable impression. So for sure, you've been through with, if you are in the new curriculum, you've been through, if you're a Seliman or a Selimanian, graduated from Seliman, high school or senior high school, for sure you build already a website. Continue building that website. Put all your portfolio, put all your school assignments, school outputs there, because that will build, especially your thesis, especially your final project in a certain major subject, because that will show actually your brand, that will show your online reputation, that you have this portfolio, that you have accumulated deliverables or outputs along your journey in your schooling. Okay, the fifth is skills-based hiring and upskilling. This is also one of the trend now. Employees are increasingly prioritizing skills over traditional credentials like degrees and certifications. And I think you often hear that, oh, you don't need to have a degree for you to be able to become like this and that and so on, because many companies really look at for skills, no? Why? Because there are many job opportunities also that require specific skills, and they are trying, and these specific skills are very specific also to certain ability, no? So skills-based hiring focus on candidates' practical abilities to perform very specific tasks and often assess through skills assessment, coding. I'm referring to programming actually, and some project-based interviews. And students or graduating students, this trend emphasizes the importance of continuous upskilling and demonstrating proficiency in your relevant technical and soft skills. What I'm trying to say here is, um, don't limit yourself with the curriculum. If you're still a student, don't limit your skills of what is being incorporated in your curriculum. If you have time to get more certificate, like attending like this is not part in your class, most probably, but for sure this will be helpful to you. For example, attending this, and you will put this into your resume, and the HR will say, oh, he is attending, he is preparing, he is attending on how to do online job searching to be more ethical, to be more relevant. So it's a plus factor to the employers. Okay, continue to attend more certificate, collate as many certificates as you have. I'll tell you, many employers will look at certificate, because this is if I am the employer, if you're a graduate of CBA or business administration, they will not anymore look at your courses. They will look at what other skills you learn outside business administration. No, because it is assumed that if you are a business administration or if your course in IT, it is assumed that you learn IT. But what many employers are actually looking at is the holistic personality of the applicant. Okay, so attend more trainings, collate as many certificates as you can. That will help you. Another trend and challenge in online job searching is diversity, equity, and inclusion initiative. What is this? There is actually a growing recognition of the importance of diversity, equity, and inclusion in the workplace. What I'm trying to say this is, um, inclusivity is being applied na in the workplace. Even if you are physically challenged, that's not anymore a problem, because many employers now have embedded the concept of diversity and inclusion and equity. Many companies now are implementing their own initiative to ensure that they are globally relevant, to foster a more inclusive hiring process and workplace that will not exclude other thing or other people with like this or group of applicants and so on. Because again, many employers now are promoting this kind of initiative. Online job seekers are increasingly seeking out employers with strong DEI commitments and transparent hiring process. There are pros and cons here. Um, what does it mean? If it is inclusive, that means there are many competitors. You have many competitors when you are looking for job. No, because even if even if the physically challenged people will be part of your pool of your competitors. Okay? And then seven, digital networking and social recruiting. What is this? Networking has long been a cornerstone of job searching, but the rise of social media and professional networking platforms such as LinkedIn has transformed how networking is conducted. Don't limit yourself with Facebook. No? Later on, I will show to you that if you are looking for job, building your reputation for work in the future, don't limit on Facebook. Focus more into the LinkedIn. You will see a lot of professional people there. So online networking allows job seekers to connect with professionals, join industry groups, and access job opportunities more efficiently. However, I'll tell you, building meaningful connections online requires authenticity and engagement. Or if for example you're a student and you want to make friends for a CEO and they have a fan page. If you want, it's not only adding them as your friend, but making sure that you can engage with them. And getting the attention of these busy people is always challenging. And it needs critical thinking, it needs authenticity, it needs creativity for you to be able to capture the attention of this, shall we say, high profile people or CEO or whatsoever. No? Um, I remember when we were friend with Mark Zuckerberg, the owner of Facebook. It was my dream that at least when I send a message to Mark Zuckerberg, he will at least man lang he will like, no? He will like my message. But it needs time, it needs ways for you to capture the audience, and that what you call actually a social engagement, that you need to network. And for you to be able to do that, you need some skills in making sure that there is a minimum standard on authenticity and engagement. The other one is cybersecurity and privacy concern. I mentioned this to you that there is a growing issue, no, that in the online job searching exposes candidate to cybersecurity risks such as identity theft, phishing scams, and data breaches. Because while I'm telling you that building online portfolio is just basically putting everything about you online, but you just have to select which of those information that that are helpful in building your professional reputation and not just personal information. Job seekers like you need to be vigilant about sharing personal information online and verify the legitimacy of a job postings and recruiters. Avoid illegal recruiters. Naglipana na. There's so many online recruiters that scams that just simply ask you to this and then later on, although many of the victims here are actually on the age bracket, not you, and the new generation. Many of these victims are actually from the late 40s or 50s because they do not know how to evaluate and verify legitimacy of the accounts. No? So employers also have a responsibility to protect candidates' data and ensure secure communication throughout the hiring process. So there are many trends actually in online job searching. I'm telling you this because I wanted you to imagine that there is a compelling reason for you to start building your professional reputation online. Okay? Let me ask you, by the way, how many of you here are graduating? How many are graduating? If none, that's okay. Let's check. Oh, there's one. Oh, there's so many. No? Oh, okay. It's perfect. Okay, so the next question is how to build your online presence. No? How to make sure that when an employer will find or will search about you, you have an exemplary reputation online. Okay, let's start first with number one. Create a strong personal brand. What is this? Define your personal brand by identifying your unique skills, unique experiences, and unique values. Your personal brand should reflect who you are as a professional and what you have to offer to potential employers. Don't be too generic because imagine if you're a business administration, there are thousands of business administration graduates every school year. And if you wish to go abroad, much more, there are millions of people business administration graduate. Consistency is the key, no? Use the same professional photo, bio, and messaging across all online platforms, no? Use the same professional photo, bio note, bio data, and messaging across online platforms. So if you have Facebook, if you have LinkedIn, if you have YouTube, and so on and so forth, use one use one photo. Dili kay ang isa naka-bikini, ang isa naka what na Sunday's dress, ang isa naka school uniform, ang isa naka one piece, two pieces, and so on and so forth. No? So consistency, because this will give a impression to your employers. Second, optimize your LinkedIn profile. If you don't have LinkedIn now, if you don't have LinkedIn yet, I suggest immediately after our discussion, you create your account on LinkedIn. No? Because LinkedIn is a powerful tool for building a professional online presence. In fact, in the US, um, applicants in the US, I know for one, my uncle who wanted to apply in a state office, in a government office, and the government is actually using LinkedIn. Using LinkedIn, and that they have to pay for the premium account because he wanted to look at who are the competitors, how many percentage is lamang to the other applicants, and so on, because there are analytics already, no? And then even LinkedIn can suggest to you what other skills that you need to build in order to match a certain high job hiring, and so on and so forth. So complete your profile with professional photo. You need to have a headline like what what do you want, no, looking for what, something like that, a summary of your skills, a summary of your competency, and the detailed descriptions of your work experience. If you don't have work because you're still a student, just look at or just include extracurricular activities when you were in the school. The extracurricular activities, don't put there, if you're a business, don't put there so much about singing, so much about dancing, but other things, lifelong learning that you wish to include. Focus on skills, no? Focus on skills, focus on community extension, focus on focus on the service learning, focus on instructional webinars like this, no? And use keywords relevant to your industry or to the kind of workplace that you wanted to work. So that, remember, there are hashtag when the employers wanted to search for the applicant, they will the system or the online the social network site will include you as part of those applicants. And then you need to curate professional social media profiles. What I meant to this is review your existing social media profiles, no? Your Twitter, your Facebook, your Instagram, and ensure that they really align with your professional image, no? How many of you are fan of ranting? No? Nagrant. If there is a teacher, and then if you have this a mistake of a teacher, or there is a limitation of the school, limitation of this, you always run. I'll tell you, even if you will delete it, there is a so-called digital footprint. It will not be deleted. It will be deleted on your within the range of your eyes, but when it comes to the digital footprint, it's not deleted. It will be taken against you. No, it will be there forever. That this person is negative. They always rant, and so on and so forth. Have you tried ranting? No? Have you tried ranting? Sometimes it's sometimes we are, because of social media, it is easy for us to air out our feelings and our emotions, and that you are using your name and then you rant against the school, you rant against the government or whatsoever. Now that you hear me, my suggestion to you, stop doing it. If you wanted to air out yourself, and if you wanted to do something like that, don't use your don't use your real account. No, I'm not saying that you will have your own dummy account, but I'll tell you, even if that's dummy account and that you are using your own laptop, you are using your own network, your internet connectivity, possibility you can still be traced because of AI nowadays. There's a cookies that sometimes you accept all cookies, and that cookies will get information from your computer, from the website that you've been visiting, and who knows, it can match your real account. So my suggestion to you, don't use social media to articulate your feelings and emotions. Okay. Remove or adjust, this is the one, any content that may be deemed unprofessional or irrelevant to your career goals because it will not help you. Consider creating separate accounts. This is the one I mentioned to you, separate accounts for personal and professional use if necessary. If necessary lang, if you can manage multiple accounts, that yes, manage multiple accounts, that's fine. But if uh if it is not comfortable with you, just focus on one and then limit yourself in posting. No? Um, for example, because many applications actually include social media account now in the application form. And then if you will put it there, your personal account, and then when the employer will look at, oh, there's a lot of birthday party. So the employers will think, sige din absent kasi mo-attend yan birthday all the time. No? So just separate it, personal and professional. Create a professional website or portfolio. This is the one I mentioned to you. If you had a website during your senior high school or during perhaps your college years when your teacher asked you to develop a website, please go on with that. My suggestion, translate that into professional website. Put all your output, put all your portfolio there, school works, school related achievement, put it there because that will showcase your work, showcase your project, your accomplishment by creating your professional website or your online portfolio. Include your biodata, you should put it there. It's the one I mentioned to you, is your sample of work, like what your project. You have to explain and put description of those projects. What is your contribution to that project? Your paper presentation, if you attended with any research, if you were part of a committee of an activity beyond classroom requirement, that would be better. And even testimonials from your friend, testimonials from your OJT advisor, your the remarks. You can actually put that. Even like there is a note, very good, keep it up, from your internship advisor. You can take a photo of it and then highlight it into your website. No, something like flexing your achievement. No, we usually do that on Facebook or on social media. Flex ko lang achievement or something like. Hmm. But you have to make sure that your website, your portfolio, keep it keep the design very clean and make sure that it's easy to navigate. Take note that HR, most of the time HR are not IT. HR are obviously HR business in the area of business psychology, but they may have they may have lacking necessary competency as to navigation and online. That is why, as much as possible, your online presence or your um, online portfolio is easy to navigate rather than so many links, and then your bio data is difficult to locate, where to download, something like that. It's part of the so-called user friendliness and accessibility in your online. I added this, engage in thought leadership. What is this? Establish yourself as a thought leader in your field by sharing valuable insights, sharing articles, sharing updates related to your field of discipline, not just simply the industry. For example, if you are thinking about working in a bank, why won't you start posting your your argument or your review of a certain article about banking? Or why won't you start sharing thought of the day about banks, about commercial banking, about personal banking? That's my point. Instead of putting all those rants online, which will not help your reputation. Write blog posts, participate in online discussions, and contribute to relevant forums or group. Relevant. Hindi yung nag-contribute kay nagbulag si kinsa man ang sikat karon nga mga nagbulag ng mga artista, no? Not like that, but participate in in recent and emerging issues, societal issues that have bearing, that have connection to your future career. Or for example, if you want to because you plan yourself to work in a marketing industry, and then there was like an issue about marketing, or why won't you participate on all those discussions? Or if you are afraid or ashamed to participate with other network, why won't you just post it into your own wall and share some articles about the issue? Okay. Position yourself actually as an authority in your niche, in your discipline, to attract attention from recruiters and peers. I hope you got what I mean. And you have also, for you to be able to build your professional online presence, is network effectively. Don't just add friends, just you know always asking for connections as a friend, but there's no engagement at all. Actively engage with other professionals in your academic discipline by connecting them with on LinkedIn, following them on social media, and attending virtual networking events or webinars. And you need to really build genuine relationships by perhaps offering what you have. When I say offering support and sharing resources, or for example, you will say, oh, at Siliman, we are doing this, is our CBA week, and we are highlighting this, we are sharing. Or there is a presentation, or there is an opportunity with other students who can learn about job searching, and then you share the link of the post, like what Sir Steve is posting. So you share resources. You participate in meaningful conversation. So for example, you saw a fun page of this. We talk about ethical job searching, and then you participate a discussion. You give your comments, your reaction. That's actually networking effectively. Hindi yung puro na lang o bitaw, puro marites, puro chismes. No, that will not really help your career. Okay, so networking, building your building your online presence really improve your chances to be noticed in the digital market or in the digital. If you have question, feel free to put it on the chat box. Okay, so how to leverage digital how to leverage a digital portfolio. The first one is, if remember I told you that you need to build your online presence. The next question is how to improve, how to make it fast, how to make sure that we meet a certain standards in building digital portfolio. Number one is I mentioned this. I just want to articulate this. Select a good platform. Choose a platform or a tool, a digital tool to host your digital portfolio. So either you can use your website. If you are at Siliman, I think they are offering Wix, they're offering Weebly, even Google Sites, and so on and so forth. You can also, if you want the portfolio thing, you can also look at Dribble, you can look at Behance, and many other, no? But the most popular one, na minimum for you to create your digital portfolio is your LinkedIn. You need to have that, okay? LinkedIn. Okay. The second one is highlight your best work. Highlighting your best work, it's like selecting examples of your schoolwork or of your skill or of your competency that you excel, that you achieve, and that can showcase your expertise. Include variety of projects such as your completed assignments, mga research, output, project, case studies, what else? Like presentation, even production of the PowerPoint, and you feel that a very good presentation that you prepared, put it in your digital portfolio. Focus on quality over quantity and ensure each piece demonstrate your capability effectively. The third one is organize and structure your content. Hindi pwede yung I just put my name and then I put somewhere all my habits, my experiences, and so on. You have to organize. Your your portfolio should be in a clear and intuitive manner to make it easy for the employers, for the HR, or to the general visitor to navigate and find a relevant information to you. You can use mga subheadings, you can use categories, you can use sections, and even a hashtag to organize your skills, to organize your competency. In If possible, also include a table of contents in your digital portfolio or in your website. And then you need to provide context and descriptions in your digital portfolio. So for each, let's say for example, you uploaded your thesis. Do not just upload your thesis. You need to have a description. What's the thesis all about? What is your part in the thesis? What is your contribution to the thesis? What is your role in the group? Because as I mentioned, employers know that you are producing research, but what the employers might be interested in, what's your contribution to the research? Because the employers know that that is a group work. And the employers know that if that is a group work, not all of you can really work from the first word of the document to appendices or to the references. Okay, so you need to explain. You need to explain what are the processes, what is your contribution, and then if possible, you can use bullets, very easy to read, what those descriptions in your portfolio. And then include visuals and multimedia. I think very self-explanatory. Let's say, for example, you can include your photo, you can include your the gathering that you were part, no? let's say, for example, you attended this webinar, you can take a screenshot during the photo session. You can put it into your portfolio. It's actually a proof that you were there, and that the employer need not to look at your resume because they can see it into your digital portfolio. Okay, add testimonials and recommendations, and update and maintain regularly your website. Question so far? Let me check if there is question. None so far. Let me continue. So I'm now on the last part of my talk, which is about job hunting with social media. Okay. So what is a social media? Just to review, social media is a collective term for websites and applications that focus on communication, that focus on community-based input, interaction, content sharing, and collaboration. I need to revisit this because when you talk about social media, it's not only Facebook. And the social media is a form of electronic communication, such as website, that through which people create online communities to share content as information, personal messages, and videos. So what are the different types of social media that I think you are familiar with? Social networks. No? The Facebook, LinkedIn. The other one is the media sharing network. For example, today's are YouTube, um, streaming platform, and other streaming platform. And then there is also a so-called community-based network. Community-based network. These are social media that provide you discussions, forum, groups, blog, no, where users can leave prompts or discussion that spiral or add more and accumulate more information into detailed comment threads. So, for example, you can go to Reddit and you can actually have a thread of discussion there. And then we also have review board network. So review board, these are network focused on review, like testimonies. You can you can add your testimony, your experiences about a certain product, like reviews of like in your Agoda, in your Shopee or in your Grab, there's always a review part, a testimony. It's actually called review board. Okay, so there are many types of social media, but I just wanted to highlight this that will help build your online presence. No, so others, you also have blogs, we have business network, you have collaborative projects, you have enterprise social network, forums, microblogs, photo sharing, product services review, social bookmarking, social gaming, social network, video sharing, and virtual world. There's a lot. Okay. Now, let me share with you the different statistics that will help you imagine why social media is very popular tool when we do job hunting. In the Philippines, no, the number of social media users is 78.5 million. And this statistic is I think 2019. And then Facebook market share on social media is 80.85%. And average daily spent by Filipino internet users is 4.8 or 4 hours and 8 minutes. Um, when it comes to usage or when it comes to users, it can show or you can see actually in there that the number of social media users in the Philippines from 2017 to 2020 which is also forecasted until 2026, is actually increasing. It's escalating. The social network user penetration in the Philippines also is improving from 2017 to 2020 with a forecast until 2026. In other words, we have no choice. If you can see on my screen, in the Philippines, the most popular social media is Facebook, followed by Facebook Messenger, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Pinterest, Telegram, Viber, Snapchat, Discord, Skype, and WhatsApp. And the top 10 well, these are the top 10 Facebook influencers in the Philippines. This may vary from different sources, but what I'm trying to say here is um, Facebook now is becoming a tool, a popular tool for influencing people. And another graph on the screen, the age distribution on social media, of course, the green one, this actually, I think, where you belong, 18 to 24 years old. And there's many social media users on that age graph. In the Job Bites 2019 Seeker Nation survey reports that 50% of the respondents heard about jobs from friends. 37 say that they also learned from other open positions. But what is interesting in the result is 35% found out about jobs from social media. While you are preparing or establishing your online presence, you need also to be aware of the available sites and available posting from the social media. And another study also tells us that 80% of employers are using social media as a recruitment tool. And in 2017, it increasing, no? 87% of recruiters reported using LinkedIn to source candidates and 55% reported using Facebook. That's very interesting. That means in a 10 employer, almost 9 there actually is using LinkedIn to hire and accept their applicants. And have almost 6 of those 10 no responded said that they use Facebook to source out their applicants. In a survey, another survey also of recruiters and hiring managers conducted, it shows that Facebook emerges as the clear winner, the top, followed by LinkedIn, and then followed by Instagram. No, another study also, LinkedIn is number 1, and then it says that 45% of the hiring managers said that they don't mind being contacted by potential candidates on LinkedIn. What does it mean? If you are on LinkedIn and if the company has a LinkedIn and you are applying, you can actually contact with them. No, you can ask for more. Let's say, for example, I saw this hiring. Can you elaborate the expected work or expected skill? Actually, that is possible. No? Studies also have shown that 92 of the companies are using social media for hiring, and that 3 out of 4 hiring managers will search for a candidate's social profile. So why use social media in your job search? It will encapsulate, number 1, it will help you build your personal brand, let your network and connect in ways that you cannot do that in person, makes you more visible to hiring managers and recruiters that mine social media for prospective candidates, even when you are not actively searching for a job. And it can give you a chance. Social media can give you chances to interact with companies that you want to work for. More benefits. Number 1, you can apply for advertised roles easily and quickly. You are more visible to recruiters who are using social media also to advertise their jobs and source candidates. You can build your network and engage with a wider audience across multiple social channels. You can create positive PR, personality, uh, um, by presenting testimonials, endorsements, and presentations of your work and to your social media accounts, blog, and website. And you can actually speak to recruiters. You can contact. You can ask for more clarifications to recruiters, headhunters, and prospective employers throughout your job search by engaging with them across all channels in the real time. Unlike before, during our time, we really have to print. I experienced, I printed 10 resume because it back up. And then if you go to job hunting and so on and so forth, that's so tedious and risky. I mean, not risky, but it's a time consuming to me. No? Okay. And how to use social media to to look for to look for the job. Okay. The first tip that I wanted you to do is try to Google yourself. Have you tried Googling yourself? Can you try now? Sige, try. While I'll do stretching here. Can you Google yourself? And then can you find or were you able to find? Did Google find your name on Google? Nakita ba ang imong ngalan? Let me check. Yes, on FB. Okay, yes, on FB. So that means if I if I am an employer and if I will search your name on Facebook and then I will click on Facebook. Then what is inside Facebook? Eating there, inom there, party there, beaching there, what else? And so on and so forth. No? So for the most part, actually, you should assume that employers really will look at your social media profiles. So even before inviting you on the interview. So always think that we are now in the social media world and that if you're applying for the job, expect that recruiters will really look at your social media. Okay? So why I ask you to Google yourself, the first step is really to Google yourself. And then check what information Google will provide you or to anyone. So just like this, FB account. So that means there's no other way to look at your online reputation and Facebook. The next question is, are you building, is that Facebook for your professional career or just simply for your personal lives? No? So then see what the pops up. If you find an inappropriate post on your photos, my suggestion is remove them or tweak your privacy setting. You still want, for sure, you will still want hiring managers to find you, but keep some information public, such as your employment history, location, professional skills, because no matter how stringent your privacy settings, people always be able to see your profile photos at Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram. So just make sure that the prospect the I mean the your future employers will be happy about the information you have. Next, use social media to research. What is this? Go to your Facebook account. Okay, go to your Facebook account and try to search your name. Baka natag ka, baka natag ka in a party, or baka natag ka of a gubot dito sa where is that? In Tiki Bar. Or baka you're one of those photos that are tagged in a riot or whatsoever. Check it out. It will help. No? Focus on social media platform. Focus on few rather. Focus on a few social media platform. Non-negotiable, LinkedIn. If you have Facebook, try to have a Twitter. Okay? To balance. Facebook, Twitter, and then LinkedIn. Maintain your online reputation. I'd mentioned this to you. It can be tempting to pick a punchy nickname. Let's say, for example, um, Happy Dave Marshall, something like that. No, uh, don't do that. If you wanted to, if you are graduating, or let's say for example you add some nicknames on your full name, no, both looks more professional and means that people will be able to find your profile when they search for your name. So if you have a common name or often go by a nickname, at least choose a consistent name that you will use across the entire platform and try to have your real name somewhere on each account. It's okay to have nickname, but you just have to make sure that that nickname is uniform across all platforms. Dili kay sa Twitter you are hot and sexy, and then in LinkedIn you are intelligently beautiful, and then sa USA you are blah blah blah, no? So always have a professional name. Use your real name, make professional status updates public, no? And of course, you need to have a constant profile adjustment. Let's say, for example, your address. If you're searching for job, always change your address from time to time. If you are in there, you are there, and then if you have attended a training every week, make sure that you updated your training. It's good also to post statuses like I attended a training on this. That's really advisable because it can build your reputation. No, for example, in this webinar, you can actually take a screenshot and then said, "I'm happy, I'm attending this," because again, this is a plus factor in your online reputation. Be a responsible digital citizen. I mentioned about ranting. I mentioned about arguments. I mentioned about puro reklamo, puro comment, negative comment, puro negativity. Take note, beware of the digital footprint. This is the one mentioned to you that even if you will delete it, I'll tell you the information is still there. The negativity is still connected to you, still linked to you. So beware of digital footprints. Do not over interact and do not overreact. Balance. Always have a balance. Over interact to Facebook. Even if you are in the toilet or in the CR, you commented. Even if, well, except for bloggers, they have to do that because that's their means of that's their means of income. But for job searching, if an employers know that, oh, even if nag-classy, nag-post sa Facebook, what does it entail? It entail that you're not focused in the time. So, posible ni siya nga when you work, imo ni siya buhaton, sige na lang kag Facebook, sige na lang kag react and smile even during office hours. Okay? What else? Connect with people. Well, it's okay to promote your professional social media profiles in your materials in searching for job. Don't use it for job search related communication. So you have to connect people who are relevant to the kind of reputation that you're building. Follow job search expert. For sure, you are familiar with mga inspiring speakers. You can follow them. Dili kay puro artista ang gi-follow. You follow mga tech expert, you follow a banker, you follow the page of this and that. That will help again build your thought leadership. Remember, follow company jobs account, or let's say for example, many companies now they have their account. Like if you wanted to work in a job, I mean in a multinational company, you try to search multi company. If they have a page, invite, I mean like their page. so that from time to time you will be notified. The push and pull algorithm, you will be notified if there are posting, and that if you like, most probably you're included na in their targeted account. Follow major players in your discipline, in your field. For sure, you know them. Follow people at your dream companies. Why not? No, I remember when I was when I remember that I was invited to talk something like this in a graduating class of, I think, IT somewhere in Mindanao. Immediately after, all of them invited me, on social media. Unfortunately, none of them I I accepted them. So create lists of all the amazing people you follow, because who knows, in the future you will be meeting them in person. So that you will have an idea, oh, this is the person that on my Facebook, so that when you meet in person, you can say, oh, at last I see my digital friend. Now I can see you in reconnect with people you do know and you do not. Oh, for example, you have classmates who are uh, classmate that for the longest time you're not meeting each other, and then that classmate of yours work already in a big company. Why not reconnect? Because it may lead you to the company that he or she is working or was working. Okay, what else? Understand the platform. Use hashtag search function. I think you know that hashtag that is for searching, so that when an employer will look for, let's say for example, a banker or a certified public accountant with seminar or with skills in website making. So make sure that to put that into hashtag, and that you put something that when you attended a website making seminar, you uploaded your photos and you put a hashtag on attending website webinar or website making seminar, something like that. Or in this one, you will put a hashtag on attending job searching online. That's hashtag. And then in the future, when an employer will look for someone who is familiar with digital social media job hunting searching, you will be included in the list. You can also use other search tools to dig deeper. There is a so-called managed litter for searching biodata to find interesting people. It's a third-party app. You can actually download it and put it into your website. And then you need to put some keywords in your biodata, like if you are a digital techie, if you are, let's say for example, an accountant with a heart. I'm just exaggerating, but my point is you need to have some keywords on your online presence. Participate in Twitter chats. And again, I'll go back, make sure to have a website. Uh, you don't need to hire. There's a lot of website already, website builder that you can build in just few minutes, because it's just simply drag. Okay, so how to optimize social media profiles for job search? Review and update your profile. I mentioned this. Use professional profile photos. No, uh, I think I failed to mention. Choose also high quality photo. Dili kay cluttered or na pixelized na, because that was too small. No, you should have a clear professional headshot where you are dressed appropriately for your company, or for for the kind of work that you wanted to work in the future, to have a positive impression to recruiters and potential employers. Of course, you cannot do that most probably in your social media, but maybe in your digital portfolio. Craft a compelling biodata or summary. Don't just simply put your biodata there. You need to have a summary of your personality, summary of your skills, summary of your competency. Take note that there's hundreds and thousands of applicants like you. Okay? You can use AI actually to develop an interesting and inspiring bio note based on your skills and competence. Showcase your achievement and expertise. Mention this to you. And then share relevant content. This is the one I mentioned to you that baka it's high time na to remove your party pictures, to remove your ranting against the school, against your friend, against your ex, against anyone or anything. Huh? And then join and participate groups or communities and manage your privacy set. Let me check the chat if there are questions. I think there are none. I will proceed to the last subtopic, which is where. The where now is the specific tools, no, and platforms. The one I mentioned to you, number one, is LinkedIn. This is a social networking site designed for the business community. Registered members can create networks of people they know and trust professionally. There are 12 tips to make your LinkedIn job ready. Number one, invest enough time into perfecting it. Number two, write an eye-catching headline. Number three, set a big city near you as your location. Let's say, for example, if you are in well in Dumaguete, I think you can put Dumaguete because Dumaguete is popular because of Siliman. But oh, let's say for example, if you're a city that is not so popular with giant companies, and if you are in the Visayas, why won't you say near to Cebu? Okay, let the employers know you are seeking opportunities. Like you will say, and any job related or any related job to marketing is very open to me. Something like that. Create a custom URL. Like if you are using free sites, there is a short URL that can shorten your very long address. No, add a background image, add at least 100 connections, at least 100 connections, or in other words, 100 friends. Write a catchy summary, keep your latest job as current. Daily, you will start from the elementary, but start with the college degree. Show your personality. What's really your personality? Are you a happy person? Are you introvert? Are you extrovert? And so on. Ask for recommendations and add skills strategically. The other one is Facebook, very popular. Um, what you should do, there are also 7 items that you can do when you job hunt using Facebook. Number one, complete your work profile in your setting. Number two, check your privacy settings. Number three, like and follow pages of the people that has bearing to the kind of work that you want. You can search for job there, join groups related to your work or to your discipline or to your area of expertise, message some job sites. No, let's say there is a Facebook there and then they have hiring. Why won't you put some message there so that you will be noticed or notified? And then search for some events. Okay, so 33% in a study, this is very interesting that 33% of employers use Facebook to find candidates. So even if your Facebook profile is private, cleaning it up before job searching is still a good idea. Number one, delete party photos. What else? Delete inappropriate cover photos. What's inappropriate? Simply put, take them down. Employers appreciate professional modesty and look for proof that candidates conduct themselves in everyday life with a dignity appropriate to the work environment. Cover photos are not private on your account and it will make or break your first impression. Huh? Update friends list. Remove anyone you don't know. Don't associate with them anymore if you really do not know with them, or who frequently tags you in an unprofessional photos or tags. You do not want for sure that that person will tag you in an inappropriate event or circumstance. Okay, so some extra tip according to the study. You need also to clean up your profile information when you do searching, and then changing your about me and subcode section to reflect your best written cover letter will help attract your recruiters and not turn them away. At least you will have some quotes, no, in your profile. Instagram also is helpful. Um, Instagram post ideas for seekers, attending an event, some post of your work. You can put some screenshot or photo of your resume or part of your resume. You can post also that you are volunteering. You can post or capture places that you have visited. Photos from a day in your life. Show your interests and hobbies. Sports you participated in, motivational quotes, videos that are also great for sharing, regrams or shared photos from other Instagram account. This will help also build online visibility when you are looking for job. Okay, this one is Pinterest, another social media, a curation website for sharing and categorizing images found online. So how to use Pinterest? Follow along with the companies you are interested in. Follow some job search or career experts and get great ideas or advice that you can learn something from them, learn new and get inspired. This one is for sure you are familiar. Do you have TikTok account? May I see on the chat? Any one of you walang TikTok account? Wala na lang. Walang TikTok account. None. Yes. Okay, none. Okay. Sige, wala. Why? Why you don't have TikTok account? For those who answered none. IG Reels better. Okay. Well, because that's Reels, no? But in TikTok, there is a so-called TikTok resume. So job seekers turn to TikTok to post career talks, CVs. So try it out. They're all already. You can do some very short TikTok videos that can encapsulate your life. No? So you can also do that on TikTok. Another one is on Twitter. Uh, Microblogging, Twitter tips for job seekers. Fill in again your bio data. You only have 160 characters for your bio. What's interesting to this, research shows that employers can appreciate if applicant can encapsulate their life, can encapsulate their skills, competencies, and knowledge in just 160 characters. Okay? Use again a real photo of yourself and connect with the right people. Another social media account that is also helpful in job seeking is YouTube. There is a YouTube recruiting there. YouTube is the third most traffic website in the world, and uh, that will help you again your online visibility. And if you are visible online, that means people or employers would have this kind of notion that, oh, at least this person is active during the student's life or what so. For example, is a clip of the seminar that you're attending outside the class. My suggestion really is don't put any classroom related, I mean, inside classroom videos, because those are expectations, those are minimum. To me, those are not necessary. Include YouTube videos that are done without grades, that are done outside, like community service. You go there, you attend there because there is this new learnings to you. Why won't you put it there that you were there? Okay. Some online job sites that can help you in the Philippines: JobStreet, Caliber, Indeed, PostJob, Work Abroad, Online Jobs, CareerJet, Monster, Freelancer, Rare Job PH, 51 Talk PH, Fever, Upwork, and many more, actually. Take note that social media has a lot of opportunities for your future, but do not waste your time. You need to prepare. In the next year, or in the next few months, or in the next few years, you will be graduating. For sure, you will be hunting for a job. If you are going to do your own business, that's fine. But my suggestion, try hunting a job. There are many social media platforms. There are also many distractors. You just have to balance and equate. You have to learn all of this. In conclusion, navigating the digital landscape of job searching requires proactive engagement, strategic networking, and continuous learning. For you to be able to leverage this online presence, you need to optimize your online presence. You need to leverage job boards and professional networks and conduct thorough research on companies and industries. You have to remember that building a successful career in the digital age is not just about finding a job. It's about continuously evolving, adapting to change, and seizing opportunities for growth and achievement. You need to embrace lifelong learning, cultivate meaningful relationships with friends while you are still building your career, and stay true to your professional goals and values. You have to work for it. Remember that the journey is just beginning, and the opportunities are endless. Go forth with courage, curiosity, and conviction, and let your digital presence shine bright in the ever-evolving world of work. Thank you very much.